Now more with Mark Agee.
So my girlfriend and I just moved in together after she lured me with sex and sandwiches. My girlfriend's a lot younger than me, right? And one of my chick friends is making fun of me for that. She's like, what could you possibly have in common with a naive girl in her early 20s? I'm like, we both think I'm great. Here's how naive my girlfriend is. We were talking about marriage the other day, and she said the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my entire life. She's like, I'm afraid to get married because I'm afraid of being divorced. I'm like, well, then you're missing the point. Because I'm afraid to get married because I'm afraid of being married. Like, divorce is actually the only reason I would consider getting married. It's like Control-Alt-Delete for screwed up life decisions. When divorce is. Divorce sucks, dude. She'll take all your shit. Well, then what do I care? I don't have any shit. Like, technically, I don't even think it's possible to take half of an air mattress. She took the lava out of my lava lamp. I am screwed. Ugh. All my friends are getting married, man. One of my friends is marrying a bisexual girl. You can't marry a bisexual girl. I mean, can you own a sunset or the smile of a child? My last girlfriend and I had a real bad pregnancy scare, which sucked, because by the time she got her period, I already faked my own death and moved to another town. I called it the uterus protection program. She was like, well, I look cute when I'm pregnant. I was like, I'm sure you look great in the rearview mirror of my U-Haul. So I'm driving away on my fake mustache and glasses. Mark, wait. ¿Quién es Mark? Me llamo Guillermo. I mean, don't get me wrong, kids have their upside, right? For example, they're a great source of drug-free urine. But kids are high maintenance. If I had a kid, I'd have to put him on something like Ritalin or eBay. I actually think I might want to adopt, because there's no doubt that I'm really going to screw up my kid, and I figure screwing up an adopted kid is kind of like ragging his shit out of a rental car. Like, you go to take it back, and they're like, excuse me, sir, this says cigarette burns and it smells like pee. It was like that when I got it. Don't get offended. That's about me, man, because I just don't know. I just don't want to be an awful parent, man, because I don't know anything, right? What kind of advice is dumbass me going to give to a little kid? I'd be like, little Jimmy, when you're walking home from school, we sure and use the buddy system. That means if you think you're going to be kidnapped, push your buddy into the van and run. Because they only put out Amber Alerts for pretty kids. Oh, poor hypothetical kid. You should call Imaginary Child Services. You should, really. So, I've had a lot of weird jobs. I used to work at a funeral home because I thought it'd be a great place to pick up widows in the rebound. Or as I like to call them, WILFs. I learned one very important thing in working at the funeral home. I will never be able to have an open casket funeral. Here's what they do when they do an autopsy. They cut your scalp around from here to here, right? They flip your head open and pop your brain out. Later at the funeral home, they sew it up and make it look nice, and your hair hides the scar. So if you come to my funeral, I will be wearing a giant foam cowboy hat. I've never understood open casket funerals anyway. Like, why does your friends and family want to look at your body? If anything, open casket funerals shouldn't be for your friends and family. They should be for the people who really want to make sure that you're dead, right? Like your enemies and credit card companies. Because I know if I died, Visa would totally show up drunk at my funeral. And be like, I know this asshole's fake and he owes me $92,000. You cannot repossess Jolly Ranchers and lap dances. I can prove he's faking. I'm going to tickle him. MasterCard, you give him a wet willy. Teabag him, Columbia House. Kind of a weird day the other day. My girlfriend got all mad at me because she found my porn stash. Not my DVDs, but the mustache I wear when I make porn. We were making the list of the top 5 people that we're both allowed to sleep with and doesn't count as cheating, playing that game. And like our top 5 list is like Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, 2 random chicks, which is good to know, right? And then Justin Timberlake. She's like, who's your top 5? And we're like, your sister, this chick I work with. She's like, no, they have to be celebrities. I'm like, you can't change the rules now, blocker, all right? Why don't you chase Justin Timberlake? I'll work on your sister. Let's see whose fantasy becomes a reality. All right? She asked me the other day if I ever think about other women during sex. I'm like, nah, I can pretty much focus on you during sex. I think about other women while you're talking. I shouldn't pick on her. She's way better than my last girlfriend. Last girlfriend's crazy as shit, dude. She was a vegetarian, which annoyed the shit out of me. Like, she made me breakfast one time. She made me egg beaters, tofu, bacon, and soy milk. Yeah, because I don't know that fake breakfast is the most important imaginary meal of the day. I think chickens lay egg beaters on the same farm where they grow Funyuns and candy corn, all right? Like, what gets me is, like, what do vegetarians think would happen if we all stopped eating meat at once? Like, we're going to release cows and chickens back into the wild? Right? Because a chicken's like a white bird that can't fly with no natural defense mechanisms. It'd be like dropping me off in the ghetto with my pants around my ankles and a roll of 20s. Like, that's why I think it'd be great to see a vegetarian get eaten by an animal, right? They get to heaven and be like, what did you die of? Irony. They go up to God and be like, why did this awful thing happen to me? Oh, it's called the food chain, bitch. You forgot about it, but the tagger didn't. That's what happened.
Find out more about Mark at his MySpace page at myspace.com/MarkAgee. And after the break, the Sierra Mist Amateur of the Week.